That movie sucked.
I kind of liked it.
Movie Night Crew Network.
That night, I had a vivid dream. It was storming on the beach, and two beautiful animals, a white horse and a golden eagle, were trying to kill each other at the edge of the surf. The eagle swooped down and slashed the horse's muzzle with its huge talons. The horse reared up and kicked at the eagle's wings. As they fought, the ground tumbled, and a monstrous voice chuckled somewhere beneath the earth, goading the animals to fight harder. I ran toward them, knowing I had to stop them from killing each other, but I was running in slow motion. I knew it would be too late. I saw the eagle dive down, its beak aimed at the horse's wide eyes, and I screamed, "No!" I woke with a start. Welcome to Of the Eldest Gods, where we discuss Rick Riordan's role as our godly parent.
I'm Taylor from Cabin 6.
And I'm Charlie from Cabin 13. Ew, Taylor, do you smell that?
Bro, we aren't even in the same state, dude.
Oh, okay, well, I guess you didn't read the same chapter as me, because, Smelly Gabe.
Shit. I watched another Fast and the Furious movie.
I can't make that joke more than twice, honestly.
I'm never sure what I'm supposed to be reading for this show. So we are on Chapter 3, Grover Unexpectedly Loses His Pants. We are picking up directly after Chapter 2, right at the bus terminal. So, as always, here's your quick recap in case you didn't do your reading this week and you're okay with a little spoiler. Percy and Grover get back to Manhattan. Even though Percy promised Grover that they could walk home together, he ducks out and goes home by himself. He's immediately greeted by Gabe Ugliano, also known as Spelly Gabe, one of the worst people in the entire world, playing poker and just being an overall asshole. His mom comes home and, let's just say, Sally Jackson is the most wonderful person in the world, and she just ignores the fact that he got expelled and just wants to hear about how Percy is truly doing. However, he leaves out some really important details. It's at this time that he realizes he does actually miss Grover and Mr. Brenner, but he's much more excited to be with his mom, who is about to take him to Montauk, a beach in New York City. Gabe freaks out when he finds out that Percy and Sally are leaving for the weekend, but they do a little bit of payment in the form of 7-layer dip. Once they get to Montauk, things are going well. Sally gets to tell Percy a little bit more about his dad once again, but then he finds out that his dad wanted him to go to a summer camp, and everything drops off as a hurricane rips through New York City, and Grover ends up at their door. We still don't know what is following him, but we know he came in a hurry. That was your reading for this week. If you missed out, do better next week? I don't know. Do your homework. Isn't that something I'm supposed to tell children? If you're a child, don't listen.
If you're a child, stop listening.
We have two main spots in this one. We have Percy's house. We know where he gets dropped off is East 104th and 1st. So I put us down onto Google Maps to figure out exactly where that is located. It is not too far from Central Park. It is in the area of East Harlem. Not much there. There were a couple stores. I did not go onto Street View and just peep at all the apartment buildings nearby. I didn't do that much homework. But we at least know he's living in East Harlem when he's home with his mom. The other location is Montauk Beach, which is a real beach. It is on the very tip of Long Island. Not much to say except probably not the nicest place to go for a beach at the very beginning of June. But I guess if it's special, have at it. And that has been your recap of where the fuck are we in the world?
Yay, we know where the fuck we are.
Yeah, in the book. I don't know where I am now, like physically.
Where are you mentally?
You assume I have a mentality.
Okay, so for the Untitled Myth Corner, that should be the official title, actually.
Untitled Myth Corner.
It's like Untitled Goose Game, but
Mhm.
that's reminding me of a meme. Okay, so we have two interesting myths going on in this chapter. I feel like, so I was like, specifically, I remembered that this thing happened to Percy when he was a kid, but it's just I didn't know which chapter it happened in. So before me and Taylor started the books, I was just like, which chapter is this in? Because I was trying to write all the stuff down.
Neither of us
And
could remember.
Neither of us could remember. So the whole thing with Percy strangling the snake is actually a myth of Heracles, not Hercules. Hercules is Roman. Okay. So Heracles actually was not originally named Heracles. Fun fact: his birth name was Alcides. Alcides. I don't. It's a C. It could be a K sound or it could be a C sound. I am not
I
sure.
think it's Alcides.
You think so? Does it say it at the top of the page? Yeah, it's Alcides. Okay. Yep, it says it at the top of the page.
Or Alcaeus.
Derp. Yeah. Also, he had a twin brother, apparently. Fun things. Heracles. I'm messing myself up. Fuck this. Okay. But when Heracles and his twin brother were like 8 months old, Hera sent 2 giant snakes into their crib to try to kill them. And Heracles just like strangled them in his hands. And the fact that Percy is able to do this just blows my fucking mind. Just he doesn't have the strength powers that Heracles has, but I guess he can strangle a snake. So go Percy. Fuck yeah. Okay, and the other more obvious thing that I know y'all wanted to hear about, Satyrs. I know it only happens at the end of the chapter, but we get our first glimpse of a satyr. So most people recognize satyrs as like man, torso, and then goat legs.
Think Mr. Tumnus from Narnia.
Yes, from Narnia. Oh god, you should share your pics of you.
Bonus content.
Bonus content, yes. So fun fact, that's like the more modern interpretation of what a satyr, or as the Romans called them, a faun, would call. That's what they would look like. Earlier, they had like, sometimes it was human legs, sometimes it was horse legs, and if it was human legs, they often had like a horse tail. I'm looking at a picture right now. It's interesting. Yeah. Satyrs were not always goats, Taylor. Did you know this?
And now I'm saying yike.
Yeah. I prefer the goats. Yeah, they're always associated with like wine, music, and dancing, chasing nature spirits, woodlands, and such. They're associated with like Dionysus and obviously the god Pan, who could end up being important later, but not right now. Yeah, they also have just a lot of stuff going on with sexuality, to say the least. They're very sexualized creatures. Yeah, I'm looking at the terminology right now. So, oh goodness. This is something new to me. So, like, nymphomania is like the feminine version of like hypersexuality, and there's like a male version, and that's Satyress.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense, because
yeah,
nymphs and satyrs.
I didn't know that. Yeah, that makes sense, but also wow.
It's extra because aren't there female satyrs, or are there only male satyrs?
I think there are sometimes female satyrs. It's just not like as often. I don't think they appeared in art ever is a thing.
Huh. That just occurred to me
That often happens in mythology, that it's like, oh, it's only going to be like one gender represented in this creature. Like sirens. There were male sirens.
Yeah.
But they're just not talked
Yeah,
about.
that makes sense.
Because I feel like Satyress is like actually a term. But, you know, Wikipedia is just not giving me much here. As it's a great place for me to look at things up real quick. So.
Yeah, Satyrus. Post-Roman European artists, though. They are not in the original. They are not in the original Greek myths.
Okay, I knew I'd like seen that as a thing somewhere, but I wasn't sure if it was like earlier or later.
So here, in Rome and when they're fauns, there are females called fauna.
That makes
However,
sense.
in Greek myth, there are no female satyrs.
So it's the Romans who were inclusive.
Yes, the Romans were inclusive with their
wow
half goat monstrosities.
I just want people to like look up the weird early versions of satyrs. I don't like them.
I just saw statues of satyresses, and I don't ever want to see those again. So I'm not gonna.
Also, try looking up a picture of a satyr that doesn't have its dick out. Because chances are you won't find one. Unless it's Percy Jackson related.
Or Tumnus.
He doesn't have his dick out.
I said or
ever.
Tumnus. Technically, he's a faun.
Yeah.
The same thing.
It's the same. Is there a difference?
I mean, there
I
is.
don't want to misrepresent
there.
this.
There are.
I don't think the fauns were ever like the horse thing.
Yeah. Well, no, because that would have came after the Greek myth. They fine-tuned it before it got to the Roman.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, there's actually a goddess fauna. That's not just like.
Yeah, that would make sense.
I'm learning things right now. I knew some of these things, but like I forgot them. So this is just a refresher for me. Mythology's fun, y'all.
I thought you said Fauci's fun, y'all. I was like, yeah, Fauci's great. Why are we bringing him up now?
What?
Instead of hearing mythology, I heard Fauci.
Mythology is fun.
My ears don't work. It's fine.
I mean, my ears don't work because my brain is just like, wait, what? Fun fact, sometimes I just don't process words that are being said to me because I'm not fully paying attention.
Yeah.
If I'm distracted for 1 second, I'm just not gonna know at all what you said, so.
Same, but yours is because of your brain. Mine's because my ears genuinely don't work.
Dude, I can't figure out song lyrics unless I like look them up.
For a lot of them, I have to do the same.
I just have many examples of like original High School Musical. I did not know the lyrics. I was just saying for half of it. Okay, that was quite a tangent.
Soarin'.
Lion?
No, I don't like heights.
Okay, let's get to the chapter review. Let's talk about the chapter.
Yeah, let's move on from our childhood full of High School Musical and turn to our childhood full of Rick Riordan.
Well, I mean, that was like the same childhood. So
for me, they were very separate.
I mean, like, they were separate, but like, you know, don't you ever like hear a song and it reminds you of like No?
Not High School Musical
No?
related
Okay,
to my
never mind.
late middle school years. That was more like my elementary years.
Yeah, but I never stopped listening to the songs.
That's
okay.
fair.
Percy Jackson!
Losing our pants.
Oh my goodness. So, at the beginning of this chapter, Percy is just downright rude. That's what I have written down. Fuck this kid.
Yeah, I mean,
He just ditches Grover.
Your best friend is scared to death. You can tell that on his face. You know he wants to go with you. And he fucking ditches him.
What a dick.
Like, actually,
Percy!
all Grover wanted to do was make sure he was safe.
Yeah. I mean, I get it that Percy was also, like, scared. I think that, like, Grover's, like, intense anxiety was causing Percy to have anxiety, so Percy's just like, nah, I'm not doing this. I'm out. Yeah,
that is fair. But I still
but
think
also
it's rude.
bad.
But
Rude.
then again, he also does go straight home to the best mom ever.
Best mom. Can we just can the rant just be Sally Jackson is the best mom? That's the rant this week.
Sally Jackson deserves her own book series, and it's all what Sally Jackson was doing while Percy was off doing his shit.
Her own book series is the one that she writes. Remember?
I know.
She wants to be a novelist.
But I need to physically see it. It needs to
That's
be
true.
in my hand.
I love her. Just like all the shit that she went through.
Yeah, like, her parents are dead by the time she's 5. Raised by an uncle who doesn't really give a shit about her. He dies, so then she doesn't even get to finish high school. Which, that I don't sort of understand, but...
Also, sorry, I got a crackpot theory as I was, rereading this. Because, so Sally's parents died in a plane crash.
Oh.
You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Zeus? Did you kill them? Is there a reason for this? I have questions. Zeus screwed over Sally Jackson, and that just means I hate him more. You know what? Okay.
None of the gods are particularly likable. With the exception of maybe Artemis.
I have a thought, and it's another tangent, and I'm sorry. So we just had a PowerPoint party. And now I'm having ideas for my next PowerPoint, and it's just gonna be all the reasons why I hate fucking Zeus. That's it. That's the tweet.
That's the tweet.
Yeah. I hate fucking Zeus.
I also hate having sex with Zeus.
I hate you.
If you, took down a person in a book who wasn't the main character, who had the shittiest break...
Yeah, it's Sally.
Sally Jackson's pretty high up on that list. So, after her uncle dies, she doesn't have any money, she doesn't have any family left, and she didn't graduate high school.
And then, the one good thing in her life was Percy's dad, who she knew for, a summer. And then...
He sailed away and
lost
never came
at
back.
sea.
Not died.
Just lost. And then she married fucking Gabe.
The worst person to ever exist. I like the description of moldy garlic pizza wrapped in gym shorts.
Yeah, isn't that the smell you smelled earlier? No?
Is that what that was?
Taylor, you can't just look around. This is audio. You can't do
They can hear me looking.
They can't hear you looking. They can't hear you shaking your head. Yeah, so Gabe is Smelly Gabe, the worst person ever. I love his nickname.
Yeah, I mean, pretty on the nose nickname. Very 12-year-old nickname for someone.
You know what? He's 12. That's...
Oh yeah,
that's
I'm not complaining. It makes sense.
It works. It fits.
Good for him. So, Smelly Gabe doesn't do anything with his life except for, use all the money on cigars and beer.
He's a manager, though. But he doesn't actually go into the store.
But he doesn't go to work.
What the fuck? How does this dude exist? How?
Electronics Megamart in Queens. How do they not know he's not there? And then he makes Percy pay for his gambling money.
Yeah. No, I don't... Yeah.
I have many questions, none of which will get answered.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, it also says specifically here that when she married Gabe, he was nice for about 30 seconds. And I want to know what nice Gabe was like.
I want to know how long they dated before...
Yeah.
There's so many questions I have about how Sally Jackson ended up married to Smelly Gabe.
I have questions if they ever consummated that marriage.
Yeah. It's we do eventually get more answers about why she's married to him, but still no answers of, the details of said marriage.
Yeah. That's all I got.
I'm so scared.
I feel like he has, girls on the side.
Oh, most definitely.
And Sally doesn't care because,
She hates him.
exactly.
Huh.
Sally deserved better. That is the other PowerPoint I will make.
Justice for Sally. I like the phrase, Gabe could sniff out money like a bloodhound.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
Like, you ask this 12-year-old kid who just got back from boarding school, immediately when he gets in, if he has any money for him to use to bet with.
And I like how he was just like, okay, so, like, this is how much you probably had before, and this is how much you paid them, so you probably got, like, a couple bucks on you. Like, he thought about this.
And the poor fucking superintendent who somehow got pulled into this. I really don't know if Eddie actually wanted to be there.
Super. I totally missed that line that he's the super.
Oh yeah, he's the super.
The fuck?
So, like, there's the part of me that's like, did he actually want to be there, or is he also just scared of Gabe? Because Eddie just looks miserable.
I have, okay, slight spoiler possibility here. So it's not mentioned here, but I know in, like, a later chapter, possibly, like, the ending chapter, it's mentioned that Gabe does hit Sally, and Percy's surprised by it. So I guess that means that Gabe has never hit Percy.
Yeah, which is
First
interesting.
off. That's interesting to me.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that's a spoiler.
But I don't know. It's not mentioned here. That's why I'm like...
Yeah. I feel like if you're just reading this, you would assume that's a thing. So that is interesting that
Don't find that out till later.
But then the page before he says that if he told his mom about the guy's secret where he's asking him for money, that he would punch Percy. So that sort of insinuates that Gabe has been hurting him.
I have questions here.
None of them are good.
Maybe they're about the story, or maybe they're for Rick's editor.
Which is it? How abusive is this man?
I want to know! I want to know how much I need to hate him. I mean, I'll hate him a lot regardless, so... Yeah. I don't know, he hit Sally. That's enough for me to hate him.
Yeah. I also like... Okay, so I get Percy's not home most of the year. He's a classic college kid. To purposely make everything smell disgusting, so when the kid has to come home and sleep there...
What do you think Gabe does in that bed?
That's where he brings the hookers.
Exactly. That was literally my thought. I hate it.
To be, like, open and honest, I have nothing against sex work. I think it should be safer, and I think there should be regulations put in place to protect the sex workers themselves. However,
yes,
in this case, Gabe is doing it in
a child's
less than
bed?
tasteful fashion.
Let's see. Gabe is gross, and that's a child's bed.
And he's married.
Yes. I mean, if your wife is okay with it, that's a different story. But...
And it's not even just a child's bed, it's his stepson's bed.
Yeah.
You already have that divide there.
Yeah. There's this... That's my thought. Taylor's twitchy face. That's my thought.
I can wink with both eyes.
That's... Winking with both eyes is just blinking. What you're doing is you're winking with one, and then you're winking with the other.
Oh yeah, but some people can't wink both eyes. And I can, and it's fun, and I do it a lot. But I can only raise one eyebrow. I can't raise my right eyebrow. I can only raise my left eyebrow.
You can't raise your white eyebrow?
I can't talk either. Don't make fun of my stutter. You're being rude.
I'm doing it out of love.
You're being an ableist.
Yeah, because I'm so fucking able.
Okay. It's so bad in there that he thinks it's almost worse than Mrs. Dodds or the Fruit Ladies.
Yeah.
But then he almost passes out because terror. But then the goddess herself, Sally Jackson. I don't even care about the rest. I was gonna say, I don't care about the rest of the mythology. Sally Jackson is the actual goddess here.
Okay, so myth quarter on Sally Jackson. She's a fucking goddess. All of y'all should bow down.
Do you ever imagine That's like what Hestia would be like
Yeah.
as a goddess. Like, she would just walk in and everything would feel calm.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, Hestia can't have children.
But she's like a goddess of like the home and the family. So like I understand. Like that's the feeling of safeness that you should get.
And like, just how Rick describes her, it's like, calm.
I love Sally.
And I just like, she comes in, she's just come from work, which is a candy store. And he's like, she smells like the best things in the world. Chocolate, licorice, and all the other stuff she sold at the candy shop.
Yeah.
And all of it's blue.
Yeah, so even before we get the mention of like the blue food, Percy is eating some like blueberry sour strings. And we don't even get the blue food till we get to Montauk, I think.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you're right.
So it's real cute. He keeps saying his mom was like so good in like every paragraph. My mom is the nicest lady in the world.
I told her she was mothering me into layoff and all that, but secretly I was really, really glad to see her. And then anytime Gabe tries to talk to her, he just gets real pissed off. She should have been married to a millionaire, not to some jerk like Gabe. Yes, she should have.
Sally deserved better.
And I like how he pretends like things were okay at school. Like his mom isn't gonna notice.
Oh, he doesn't want to talk about it to her.
I know, he's 12 and like his observation skills are minimal, but... And he still doesn't bring up Dobbs or the old ladies at this point.
No, he doesn't. And then they go on their trip to Montauk, which is great. And the fact that, like, Gabe has stopped them from going for the last 2 summers. Rude.
Yeah, because it's too much money. You know, the money he's spending on poker and beer.
Actually, does it say how long that she's been married to Gabe? I'm just wondering.
I think so.
I don't think it says how long. Yeah.
Yeah, she...
Yeah, it's very vague on when she married him.
We might find out later in, like, the second series, possibly. I don't think we find out in this one.
I could always look it up later. But I was just wondering if it was, like, the last 2 summers were, like, has it been, like, since she's been married to him? Or is this, like, just the last 2 summers that he wasn't, like, nah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know.
I don't know. That was the question I had in my mind.
I like how she's bribing him with fucking 7-layer dip.
Yeah, he doesn't deserve that fucking 7-layer dip. I'm glad she, like, put her foot down and was like, we're gonna go on this trip, but...
And he gives her a clothes budget?
I mean, they could just be budgeting, like, as normal adults. But, like, I don't know. You could be right there. I didn't take it that he gave her a budget. I took it that, like, they have a budget.
That's an example of abuse right there.
Okay.
The idea of calling it specifically your clothes budget. Saying it's basically him having that control over her.
See, this is something that I wouldn't have been able to know without doing this.
Yeah, yeah, it is nice talking about it with someone because you don't realize what you miss along the way. Until somebody notices it for you. My favorite is when they're leaving and he had seen Grover do a way to ward off a curse. And he does it and it hits Gabe in the butt with a door. And Percy's just like trying not to die laughing, but also he's terrified because of course that had to be a coincidence, right?
I also just like, once again, I just want to harp on that because, like, I mentioned it, I think, in the last chapter, but, like, that was, like, a thing that I used to do as a kid because I heard about that and it was, like, it was important. So, yeah. The warding off evil. It's little cool things that nobody cares about in Percy Jackson.
And to be honest, they get to Montauk, and it sounds gross. The house they live in.
But it's their place, you know?
Yeah, like if it wasn't for the emotional value of it, especially because she talks about how they talk about how that's where she knew his dad from. It's so gross. I hate sand everywhere.
Percy doesn't know that for sure, though.
Yeah, he doesn't know that for sure, but he infers it. Yeah, it's like something he says, not her specifically.
Oh, also the fact that Gabe like looks Percy in the eyes, just like not once crash on the before they leave. What the
We'll
fuck?
return to that next week. Yike.
But Percy isn't driving the fucking car.
He is 12.
Yeah, and here's where we get the talk of the blue food for the first time.
Yeah.
I love that.
I like how he describes her, though, when we get there, they're going there. That, like, she grows younger, and the years of worry and work disappearing from her face. Her eyes turn the color of the sea. It was, like, as if the water's calling her. And that's almost funny with the whole blue food thing, which I know we get an actual answer to, but just the fact that blue is the color, and how important the sea is to her.
Yeah. I just love that, like, blue food started from Gabe and Sally having a stupid fight. And then she's like, well, I'm gonna make blue food forever now.
Blue... I like how he said there wasn't any blue food.
Like,
there's blueberries. That is... Yeah, blue Powerade, but, like, physically a food that has the word blue in it.
well, are blueberries, like, blue exactly? I thought they were more like...
They're like a deep purple.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought they were more purple.
But, I mean, if you're just looking at blueberries, I don't know. But either way, just the fact that there is a food called blueberries.
Listen, this is another way to prove that Gabe is stupid, and also just so Rick could have Percy have, like, a quirky thing. Because Percy had to be a quirky guy in some way.
And I do like that she keeps her maiden name.
Yes.
The
fact that, like, Ugliano, ugly, his name is just ugly.
I wonder if Rick did that on purpose.
I mean, yes, he did, because this is a children's book, and he would definitely do this, because it's a dumb joke.
Ugliano.
Yeah.
Alright, so they talk about roasting. So the sentence is, we roasted hot dogs and marshmallows. And I just glanced at it, and I read, we roasted hot dog marshmallows.
Of course you did.
And I don't know if it's hot dog shaped marshmallows or hot dog flavored marshmallows then.
I have a question. Are the marshmallows blue and are the hot dogs blue?
See, I was about to ask that. So many questions.
Just assume that every food that Percy eats is blue. Like, that's it. Even if he gets it from, like, a restaurant or something, no, it's blue. Everyone else is normal. His is blue.
He brings blue food dye with him wherever he goes.
No, he just, like, by the fact that he's the one eating the food means it has to, like, just become blue. That's it.
I'm blue. Da-ba-dee-da-ba-da. On that note, let's turn to the sad stuff of the chapter, where we learn a little more about Percy's dad.
And how he looks just like his dad. And
he will have his black hair.
Yeah. And
I bet it's unkempt too.
Yeah, the black hair and the green eyes.
Very untidy.
I wonder if there's, like, any other, like, child chosen one that has, like, those features. I don't know.
No.
Maybe a literary character.
I don't know. We'll have to think about that one.
So Percy, he always thought that, like, his father knew him as a baby, but Sally's just like, nope, he never knew. And that's...
I find it interesting that he knew she was expecting a baby, because it's only for a summer, so, like...
Well...
They would have had to have gotten it on pretty early during the summer.
So, I have a reason for why this is. I mean, okay, I don't think it's a spoiler of, like, that Percy's dad is
a
not
god.
he's a god. He's not a human. So maybe it's just every time that they have sex, they just always pop out a baby. Like,
Oh, is that
that's
why
just the
Zeus
magic of
is,
them.
like, always having children?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'll accept
I
that.
mean, maybe with Hera, like, they don't always have kids.
I feel like maybe if it's with another god, like, you can control it more.
But if it's a god and a mortal, like, having sex, they're gonna have a baby. That's just how it happens.
It's just a really dark, like, time. You can see it's really hard for her.
Yeah.
He's finally getting to the point where he's gonna start questioning it more.
Yeah.
He gets really put off, and he just wants to know if his mom's gonna send him away again. And he mentions that she mentions that his dad wanted him to go somewhere specific, which goes back to the idea that, like, he knew she was gonna have him.
Yeah. Like I said, I think it's the magical thing. Like,
yeah,
you just know.
And she talks a lot about his safety, and that's just... He gets flashbacks to Yancey with Mr. Brunner during this entire conversation with Sally. And it's just... Everybody is talking about his safety. And as a 12-year-old boy...
And then he gets the flood of the memories from when he was a kid. Like... So, fun fact, Percy saw a Cyclops in 3rd grade.
Yeah.
The fuck?
Preschool was the snakes. Right, yeah.
Yeah, preschool is a snake, and then, yeah.
This is why he should have told her about Mrs. Dodds, but once we find out why, we find out something's been sort of hiding his memory over time to sort of prevent him remembering this stuff. But he's now, it almost seems like he's getting too old for it to work anymore.
Yeah. Well, I think it could be because he's figuring out too many things also.
That's also
it's
fair.
not just that he's too old, it's also that he's like starting to put some of the pieces together in his mind too. So it's a little bit both. And then there's the dream.
Yeah, after a very teary good end to that conversation, he goes to bed. The quote you read at the beginning.
Yeah.
There's a lot of symbolism here that we can't really talk about yet. And we'll have to come back to. We see throughout this entire series, and really all mythology in general, the importance of dreams. Yeah,
dreams are like a thing in Greek culture. I think I have like a spot for that lined up, possibly.
Yeah. And it's just their use as prophecy and communication beyond just them being dreams. And is it next chapter we find out about that stuff?
No, it's not in the next chapter. No, it's not. Yeah.
It's 2 chapters.
Next chapter we go bullfighting.
Yeah, those 2 chapters sort of mold into one big chapter for me.
Yeah.
It's very interesting reading it now, knowing what happens later, and then being able to go back.
Yeah. No, you get so much more.
The foreshadowing that you missed the first time. And I hope people who are reading along with us after we talk and read forward go back and read it again and are able to pick up for these things themselves if they haven't read them before.
Yeah.
So he wakes up, basically, it sounds like the entire house is going to fall apart because there's essentially a hurricane. And it's weird because it's the beginning of June, not normally hurricane season. And then all of a sudden... Yeah, you get some banging on your cabin door in the middle of a hurricane.
Also, the fact that, like, Sally just wakes up
with it.
Hurricane.
Yeah.
So fucking dramatic.
And I like how when she opens it, she's, like, just not fazed by the fact that Grover's there.
Yeah, she just, like, springs out of bed in her nightgown and opens the door, and she sees him. She's just like, okay, what's going down?
Yeah, she's like...
What didn't you tell me, Percy?
Did they meet beforehand, do you think?
No.
You don't think so?
Sorry, I think they say that in the next chapter, specifically, that they never met before.
Huh, interesting.
But she's aware of him.
Okay. I was just thinking that, like...
These are, like, certain, like, things that I'm like, I know this information.
See, that's why I ask.
Yeah.
So then my favorite part is when Grover yells something in Greek. And Percy realizes for the first time I can understand Greek.
We should have, like, tried to translate that.
It's literally right there.
That's not exactly what he says, though, is it?
It's right behind me. Didn't you tell her?
But
that is what he's
okay,
saying.
but the way that this is formatted, it makes it look like that's a different sentence.
Nope.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, but that's normally how they would do it as a translation within a book. You've never seen that before?
I've never registered this. I always thought that was two separate sentences.
Oh no, that's him speaking.
Well, am I stupid or... No, I just assumed that, like, that Percy, like, knew what it said, but he wasn't telling us. That's what I always assumed.
Yeah, no, it's the same thing.
Listen, I'm a dumbass, okay? We've established this. I thought it was two separate sentences, okay?
You're okay. I was just telling you that's what it was. So, Sally's pretty pissed off. She's like, you need to tell me what the fuck's going on now. She grabs her purse, puts on his rain jacket, and says get to the car. Is she going out in her nightgown?
Apparently she is.
I never noticed that until right now. She does not put clothing on.
I didn't notice this, but, you know, she doesn't have time.
Yeah, I mean, especially because as soon as we get into,
Just think about just when we get to the next chapter, make sure to imagine Sally in a nightgown the entire time.
Yeah.
And Percy's also going to be in pajamas. They're both in pajamas. He's in a raincoat, though.
Yeah, that's important. He's in I want to picture it as, like, a yellow raincoat.
Yes.
You know, like the
it's
stereotypical
gotta be the
raincoat.
cute little yellow raincoat.
Yeah.
Unless his is blue.
No, it has to be yellow for my headcanon. Okay. It has to be as obnoxious as possible for a 12-year-old boy. Okay. A blue raincoat would make it slightly less obnoxious.
His pajamas are blue.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I'm on board for that. I just want it to be yellow because it's obnoxious.
So Percy has to tell his mom, like, all that happened with Mrs. Dodds and the old ladies, the fruit stand. And
she is unhappy. They get in the Camaro. That doesn't look good for the Camaro because Gabe told them not to get any scratches on it. Well, they're about to go out in a hurricane, so... And this is where we finally see Grover running. And we see that he does not have feet. In fact, he has cloven hooves.
Yeah. Grover's a satyr. Did y'all see that coming?
I like how it ends with just that. Where it's like...
They were cloven hooves.
Yeah. Like... I feel like that's just a good ending to it.
Yeah, it is.
He does a really good job with ending these on good enough cliffhangers that you want to read the next chapter. Mm-hmm. But they're not as obnoxious that if you can't read the next chapter, you're gonna want to cry. Some of them, yes.
Well, we'll get to maybe years from now. We'll get to a freaking cliffhanger that Rick does.
We're not talking.
Rick, I'm still mad. If you ever listen to this, I'm still mad. But I love you. So, it's okay.
Literally anybody who's read your book, that specific book, is mad at you still.
And then he made fun of them in the next book.
On that happy thought, how are you feeling about the book so far on our reread?
I mean, I'm still liking it. Is
good.
This a trick question here?
No, it's just... Do you enjoy talking to me?
No.
Oh, good. I hate talking to me, too, so we're on the same page. I didn't go on a rant this time.
No, we did. It was that Sally deserved better.
Oh, that's true.
The rant.
That's fair.
Sally deserved better, and
she's just
Gabe is
trying
abusive.
Her best. Sally's just trying her very best.
We need that on a shirt now. That's just...
She's just trying her best.
Yes. Restricted section has the drama, and we have just trying our best.
Which is a description of our entire lives.
Yes it is.
Remember how we both got, like, college degrees?
No.
That's fair.
What are your plugs? I have 2 plugs.
Okay, you go first while I decide, because I don't want to do both this week.
Okay, so, first thing I'm plugging... I just binged all of the Tales of Arcadia series on Netflix. So, they're really good. They're by Guillermo del Toro. Watch them. I enjoyed them a lot. Troll Hunters and Wizards are fantasy, and those are like definitely more connected than Three Below, which is more sci-fi, but they're all like, they'll take place in the same place. Very good. I like them. And the second thing I'm going to plug is, I'm just going to plug Christina's Existence, our pod daddy, because
Christina. We have the best pod daddy in the world.
that's the tweet.
That's the tweet.
Also, the day that we're recording this, it's the restricted sections 1 year anniversary. So happy birthday.
I want to plug PowerPoint parties.
Yeah.
Make sure your people have a time limit.
Yeah. A time limit of like 10 minutes at the most. Maybe even less than that.
Do like Charlie and I and get it done in less than 5.
Yeah. Seriously. I did a PowerPoint. High five. I did a PowerPoint comparing Percy Jackson and Harry Potter, and it was like 3 minutes long.
I figured out how to fix the entire issues behind World War I in 3 minutes.
I just showed a lot of fan art, mostly, because that's what I wanted to do.
Okay, I think I'm gonna go with this one. Today I am going to plug Circe by Madeline Miller. It is a retelling of the goddess Circe on her time in exile and her interactions with Odysseus, as well as Telemachus and Hermes for the most part, and why she even got exiled in the first place.
You really thought about this.
Oh, I love this. I love this book so much. Are you making fun of me?
No, I'm just like, this is, what I've been enjoying, and you're just like, this is like related to this podcast.
Oh, no, that isn't why. I was just thinking about books that I would really want people to read. Because I read a lot. There's just some books I wouldn't suggest for people. Like the book I'm currently reading is about bioterrorism. That's not for everyone. Circe is for everyone.
If you say so.
It is. 5 out of 5. 10 out of 5 with rice.
Does that mean that Christina's for everyone? Because I plugged her.
Christina is for everyone.
Rated E for everyone.
Christina is a goddess among our pitiful world.
Yes, that's true.
She's gonna, listen to us and be like, why are you guys like this?
This is a test. Christina, this is a test.
Christina, text us! I think that is,
Is that it?
I think
Are we
that's
good?
it. We have to end on the note of our love for Christina. Actually, we want to shout out Andrew, too. Our friend Andrew, for also...
Yeah, Andrew's great, too.
Helping us out a lot with this, too, in the past couple weeks while we've gotten up and running. There have been a lot of people, but those two really stuck it out with us for a good month while we changed up some things.
It's been a time.
It has. That's how time works.
So are we all set, Taylor? Are we good?
No.
No?
Yeah.
Well, too bad, because I want you to get the fuck out of the closet.
You can follow the podcast socials at Of the Eldest Gods Pod on Instagram and at Of the Eldest Gods on Twitter. You can send an iris message to us through oftheeldestgodspod@gmail.com. You can follow me, Taylor, at Taylor from Cabin 6 on Instagram, and Historical Femme, spelled FEMME, on Twitter. Catch me on episodes of the Restricted Section, Hell from Elsewhere, and True Stories of a Tryhard.
You can follow me, Charlie, at GreenPixie12 on most platforms, mainly Instagram and Tumblr. But on Twitter, I'm at GreenPixie123, which I'm not salty about. No, not at all. I also have an art Instagram that I sometimes use at GreenPixieDraws. I sometimes do the YouTube thing on my channel, Charlie Mack. That's MACK. And I also have another podcast called Fandom's Gone Wrong, where my mom and I talk about movies, TV shows, books, and whatever other fandoms we enjoy. You can find that on all the major podcasting apps.
Our music was written by Nora Strauss-Riggs and recorded and edited by Ian Emmerich. You can find Nora at Kann_I, that's I as in the body part, on Instagram and Twitter. Feel free to message her about making music for your project or editing your pod. She's the host of Siblings and Fandoms, where Nora and her sister Maddie talk about fandoms they're part of, ones they're not, and everything in between. She is also the host of Modern Musical Origin, which is an informative show delving into the history of different instruments and styles of music. You can find both of those pods on all the major podcasting apps. We are proud to be a part of the Movie Night Crew Network, which features the Restricted section, a chapter-by-chapter Harry Potter pod, with lots of spoilers all the time, and the Movie Night Crew. Join some friends as they react to some terrible, some meh, and some really great movies.
What's up, potheads? It's me, your host, Christina. Welcome to the Restricted section. No, we're not in Hogwarts. It's like a metaphor. Do you get it? Like, we're raunchy, and we get drunk, and we make sex jokes, and we have an all spoilers all the time policy, so, you know, it's like the Restricted section. I've been told that explaining jokes makes them funnier. If you've ever wondered how the Marauders map actually works, if you've ever thought that maybe Snape sometimes wears jeans, if you've ever thought that Draco and Harry are for sure in love, I mean, they're for sure in love. If you've ever had a hard time deciding who you'd rather bang, Bill or Charlie, obviously Charlie, then this podcast is for you. You don't even have to do the reading, we'll do it for you. Catch the Restricted section every Wednesday wherever you get your podcasts, and find us online at Restricted Section Pod.
Of the Eldest Gods is based on the series by Rick Riordan. Right now, we are discussing Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Remember to follow us on your favorite podcatcher and meet us back here every Thursday. Because can you read great? Can you read?
That movie sucked.
I kind of liked it.
Movie Night Crew Network.